Hello, welcome again to Mentoring You to the UK, and today our two mentors will be me, as usual, Dan from AECC Vietnam, and Kam all the way from Bangkok, representing Birmingham City University. We'll be talking to you today about studying in the UK, and welcome, Kam.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I always enjoy my time here.
Yeah, that's great. And to warm up a bit, I will ask you something about BCU so that our students can know more.
Okay.
So can you have 3 words about BCU?
Okay. Actually, this is interesting because my 3 words for BCU would be location, location, location.
Cool. Right. Second one, research or practical experience?
I would say it's practical experience for sure.
Modern or old?
Definitely modern. Definitely modern.
Yeah. Final one for this icebreaking. So, creative or mainstream?
Creative. Creative all the way.
That's what all about BCU, as I am aware of.
Okay.
Okay. So, generally, BCU is providing a lot of different programs and courses throughout undergrad to postgrad research. Right? So, can you tell the students briefly about BCU business, marketing, computing, etc.?
Okay, so we have offer over 350 courses, undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. We have over 4 faculties, including business law and social sciences, which is where our business courses are held. We have courses in computing, engineering, and built environment. We have courses in art, design, and media, and then we have course in health, education, and life sciences. So in general, for our business course, for example, marketing, which is a very popular course, obviously. The marketing, we have them under the School of Business, which is a Master of Science, Business and Marketing. And then we have another one, which I think is very special to BCU, is the MA Future Media. In brackets, that is digital marketing. So this is more for a student who wants to have a practical, hands-on learning, who wants to be a content creator, who wants to do campaigns, who really wants to get their hands dirty and actually do design work for the digital marketing campaigns. Yeah. And for computing, because our facilities is very modern, very big, and very well equipped, obviously our computer science courses are like top 30 in the UK. And it's because computing requires the most updated facilities, updated software. Obviously, we are one of the top choices for students in the UK.
Wow, so quite a lot of choices for the students across the faculties, and like they can adopt it for a lot of different career choice.
Exactly.
After graduation, career ladder, right? So thank you for that.
Okay.
Thank you, Kam, for very brief about BCU. And also BCU is very famous for creativity, modernity, and diversity. So in your point of view, why is BCU enjoying this image, this reputation? Okay.
So I mean, there's 3 keywords here, right? Creativity, modernity, and diversity. So I think Birmingham as a city is a very diversity. I mean, we have our own Chinatown, right? So in that regard, we already have such a diverse community within the city of Birmingham. In terms of like modernity and creativity, I think the best way to describe it is, I think our course is more focused on future thinking, right? Because a lot of the courses, we're basically thinking that we cannot just focus on what is happening right now, right? Because the world is changing so fast. And therefore, a lot of the courses, especially in the art, design, and media courses, the digital marketing course I talked about earlier, we're always thinking about what's going to happen in 5 years. So we're not just asking the students to be able to understand the trend of today. We're asking the students to understand what's going to happen to their life, their career in 5 years' time. You know, things like this. So I think that's kind of what I think is what BCU is aiming towards, and that's the viewpoint that I think we have. Yeah,
I agree. So that's really something as a reflection of the fast-changing world nowadays for the young persons. Right?
Exactly.
Also, so talking about Vietnamese students, specifically. So they are now more and more interested in creative fields, which there's a lot of concerns about the development of their personality, innovation, and practical experience, and also young environment. So which courses in BCU that enhancing this aspect for the students?
Okay. Again, to answer this question, let's look at like Birmingham in general. Birmingham is considered to have the youngest population in Europe. The reason is because it is the second largest city in the UK, right? And as a young graduate, when you guys finish university, when students finish university, they want to move to a big city where they can find potentials and find jobs. So therefore, I think that's probably why we have the youngest populations. But other than that, in terms of the creative field, I feel like it really depends on what the student wants to do. I think there's creativity in everything, you know, in packagings, in the way that they design the drinks that we drink, fashion, taking photos for Instagram. Everything requires creativities. So I think like all these concerns is just more about what do they want to focus on in the future. So I have a couple of choices to say. Like, for example, we have a lot of students now currently applying for a course called Masters of Science in User Experience Design. This course is obviously focusing on understanding users. Everything on our phone, everything on our computers is basically wanting to for people to understand what is the end user wants, right? So that course, I think, is answer to this idea of innovation, definitely. And for students' concerns with, you know, creative field, I think user experience design is actually one of the career that has a lot of demand right now globally, right? You can work remotely as well, and it's actually one of the highest paying job at the moment. Apart from that, we also have things like design management, right? Which is almost like MBAs but for designers, right? Because now even banks, even real estates, they actually don't consider themselves as like, oh, I do banking, I do real estate. They consider that as a brand, and therefore a brand, a product. So everything requires a product manager, right? A product designer. A product designer no longer means designing a glass. It's designing the brand, right? So in general, I think like it really doesn't matter in terms of like I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. I mean, the students shouldn't be concerned about that, because I think creativity is in everything. It's just more about what end product, where do they want to see themselves in? Yeah.
Interesting. I quite like your example about the fusion itself inside a glass of coffee, and also the packaging on the Instagram videos is like almost everything that Vietnamese youngsters or like any other young people around the world now, they contact with videos, with screens every day, and more adapted to the new trends of the world. And it's good that the education at school like BCU will transfer the young people from their hobbies, daily hobbies, to the career, and to know that like they can apply into every aspects of the work.
Yeah.
As you said, it's not all the time about creative or marketing, but also about business, finance in a new way, in a new perspective. Right? That's very cool thing to think about. And
yeah. Because I always say to the students, you know, when we go to coffee shops, when we go to supermarkets, one of the first thing we see is which packaging is the most beautiful. Then we pick things from there. And those items are the same. It's the same water being sold 10, 15 times. Which one has the best creativity? Which one has the best aesthetics? So we buy it from that. You know, so I would say, don't worry about creative field. There's always rooms for you to actually find yourself, you know, a job there.
That's right. So that is the reason why I think art and design is nowadays more and more popular among new generation of Vietnamese students going outbound for their study and future career.
Yeah.
So when learning about BCU, I can see that the philosophy at BCU about art, design, and media field is to blur the boundaries between academia and the real world work, like the practice. So, how are you building up the career prospects for the students across the colorful, creative world from fashion, textile, media, architecture, and very interesting about BCU is the stage courses like acting, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so reflecting on the courses, delivery, placement, and links to the professionals, for example.
Okay. Sure. So obviously there's two things here that I like to address. First is that boundary, as you said, that we're trying to blur the lines between academia and the real world, for sure, because obviously, like I said, we're a modern university. So modern university are very focused on practical learning, right? So instead of just asking the students to read the books and understanding theories, we want them to be on the field. We want them to actually use equipment and do things and produce things, okay? So first and foremost, I think the facilities itself, the course itself, the work itself is requiring students to actually blur that line already. But in terms of like career perspective, what I think is very special about BCU is that instead of just having like one career center, right? We actually have four, because we have four faculties, right? Because we understand that students who are studying business and students who are studying art, students who are studying engineering requires different people who understands about their jobs. So we have four career center. And this is opened 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. Students are able to go in, make an appointment with the specialist and, you know, get help in terms of like writing their resumes, writing their emails, interview sessions, any kind of things like that. The students are more than, you know, welcome to actually go in and ask. And then on top of that, obviously, just like any other universities, we have career festival, career fairs. We have people coming in and going at the university. But what I find very interesting about BCU is that we just launched a building, or actually a facility called STEAM House. Okay, and the STEAM House is actually an incubation center, or in other words, it's a business center, right? So in this STEAM House, we have access to basically SMEs, right? Startups that, you know, start in BCU, and they come in and they ask for consultants, they ask for design help, they ask for all kinds of help in the business world, essentially. And therefore, what's going on there is that our students are able to actually engage themselves in all these projects that are coming through STEAM House, right? So, for example, in art, design, and media, obviously every business, like I mentioned before, requires a certain level of like designing, like packaging. So we get our visual communication graphics design students to come in and engage them with you know, these businesses, right? That's one thing. Another thing is that some of our courses, like digital marketing course, our course in future media that I mentioned earlier, and also our course in like visual communication or graphics designs. 3 of these courses, we have a modules where they come together, right? And they're students in different specialization. So they would get to immerse themselves together already, understanding each roles, right, that they do. So they would understand before they even get to work with the industry themselves. So I think that integration and understanding of like different roles that the students have opens doors for them, right? Because not a lot of people get the chance to actually integrate with people from different fields. So I think in terms of like creativity, in terms of like career prospect in the creative field, we definitely have that covered. And you said just now as well about the stage and stuff like that. So I don't know if, you know, a lot of our viewers know, but obviously Birmingham is a city where Peaky Blinder is from.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, you're a fan?
I'm a fan of Cillian Murphy.
I know, the Shelbys. Yeah. Such a good show.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know that it's, you know, it's not particularly filmed in Birmingham, but it is based in Birmingham, right? So there's BBC, right, in the city of Birmingham. We have a media studio, we have a radio station, we have TV stations just within the university itself. And all of these facilities are so well equipped that the BBC or all these little businesses and media studios actually rent our space and rent our equipment. The only things that we require them to do is to actually use our students. Right, so again, that integration with the industry you were talking about earlier.
That's very exciting to hear, actually, if I'm a student. Yeah. So to summarize, as like, okay, to test if I'm a quick learner or not. And based on what you said, I can think about BCU career support as not just like a normal career support. It is tailor-made across the faculties, like one for each.
Yeah.
4 faculties, right? And we have the incubator where the student, before going to the real world work, they have the chance to collab together across the different faculties and programs, right? Business students, creative students, marketing students.
Yeah.
So they team up like companies like SME, real business, doing pitching, maybe, right? And the final word should be facilities when talking about media creative, right? We mentioned about Birmingham City. We mentioned about picking blinders. You see, I bet that like is very inviting to our students. Well, so we are talking quite in depth about art and design and creativity at BCU. Talking about these kind of courses, normally a few will require portfolio, which is not to a strange definition to Vietnamese students, but like not too well established across different schools here. So we definitely would like to know more about a portfolio. So how should a comprehensive portfolio look like, and what's the points that will be the key aspects and how it could be assessed?
Well, for portfolio, obviously undergraduate portfolio and postgraduate portfolio is very different. Obviously for postgraduate, we want to see more skills and that you know a basics enough to continue your study in master's degree. I think that art portfolio is obviously only specific to courses that require students to draw, to design, to actually do all those things. So not that many courses that we discussed today actually require that. So we were discussing about the digital marketing one, we were just discussing about design management. Those courses doesn't really require it. But if the students want to do like graphics design, if the students want to do like interior architecture, if they want to do fine art and design, those kind of courses we require a portfolio. Now in terms of portfolio, I can summarize it into 4 keywords. 1, you need to show a concept, right? Very strong concept.
True.
2 is research. So understand where you're getting that concept from and how you want to put them together, right? 3 is techniques, whether that is drawing, photography, whether that is graphics design. Just show the techniques that you have, that you know how to use the software, you know how to draw, you know how to do this, right? So techniques. Last, but I think most important, is what we call alliteration of process, or just kind of editing and also showing the process from when you start to when you finished. Don't just always show the final work, always show your process. Even if it's the bad process, we still want to see it. Yeah.
I agree, because actually I have been looking at quite many portfolios, and what I normally suggest my students is you should always indicate a journey of creativity, your process, your statement, your concept, and how you do that. Yeah, because sometimes many students would think that a good portfolio is a big collection of everything.
Yeah.
But it should be comprehensive and linked together, right?
Exactly.
See who you are in the world of creativity.
Exactly.
That's very not long recommendation, but very useful. I'm sure that will be very good for our students to look at when they think about studying at BCU. for creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned about graphic design, right? And also media.
Yeah, graphic design, media, even filmmaking, you know, acting, popular music if they want to be a producer, and yeah, architecture, you know, architecture, interior architecture, even 3D. We call them, I think, design visualization, you know, things like this. So we have so many different courses. And obviously, like you said, you need to have a certain concept when you choose that course, right? If you want to do architecture, then show architecture projects. Don't bring in hundreds of different things.
Sure. So that's great to see that a professional school, academia environment is how it is appreciating the students' works, and encouraging them for creativity. And that is encouraging the new generation of Vietnamese students to find out the new land of jobs, right? A career, to think about beyond the boundaries, as we say. Yeah, and a lot of chances and a lot of new opportunities for our Vietnamese students at BCU, I believe. And yeah, thank you for sharing about BCU, very interesting courses in art and design, and the advice for the student about the portfolio and how to leverage the career prospects at BCU. And thank you
No
for coming
problem.
today with us. And we hope that you are enjoying it. And if you have any further question, you can look for more on AECC fan page, and we can surely run some Q&A session with Cam after this. So thank you for watching too. Thank you, Cam.
Thank you so much. Bye.